Peace and love. Welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. Now, one thing that we know about Kendrick Lamar, if you are a fan of Kendrick the way that I am, then you know that Kendrick has a lot of coded messages and symbolism in his videos, his performances, his songs, his music. He's a very symbolic brother. He's a very deep brother who uses a large amount of symbolism in his artwork. So a Kendrick Lamar fan is somewhat of a decoder of these symbols that Kendrick Lamar uses. And it's fun. It makes the music even have a bigger impact. The fact that there are so many things to find like Easter eggs. But one thing I find hypocritical when it comes to Black people as a whole, I see a lot of channels breaking down the symbolism, and I think that's a good thing. But the hypocritical part is that there have been a huge number of Black people point out the symbolism in Hollywood, in the music industry, even in sports. We've been pointing out the fact that celebrities speak in code. They speak in symbolic languages. And we was pointing that out before the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. And what I see is all of the big platforms, all of the Black people are into decoding symbols now. And these were the same people that were calling the symbol decoders tinfoil hatters. I just got to say this for you guys. Kendrick Lamar isn't the first artist to speak in symbol and to put codes in his music. This is the norm in Hollywood and the music industry. So I found that very hypocritical. Like, we can only be symbol decoders with Kendrick Lamar. Now, before we get into the decoding of the symbolism surrounding Kendrick's halftime performance, let me go ahead and weigh in on what I think about his performance just from an artist perspective and an art perspective, as far as was it a good show? Because some people said it was boring, and some people were saying he killed it. So here's what I would say, just judging his performance musically and from just an art perspective. His energy was a bit dead during his performance, and I wasn't impressed. And I also wasn't surprised either that he didn't just kill it, right? Because in my theory, I don't think that was his aim. So for the diehard Kendrick fans, your idolatry is stopping you from really seeing Kendrick's genius symbolism. A lot of people are debating right now because, like, again, some people are saying, well, his energy was boring. He wasn't crunk. And some people were saying, man, he killed it, right? Let's weigh in on both sides. Like I said, Kendrick energy was dead during his performance, and I'm finna go into my theory on why I think Kendrick energy wasn't all crunk and all that. That was part of his plan. To the people who saying it was boring, you're right. You didn't get the symbolism in Kendrick not being in a very big performative type spirit. And to the people who were saying, like, no, it was a good performance, you're really speaking about the sequence dancing, because the dancers held it down. Those were some very talented dancers. Kendrick didn't have to just kill it, because when you have dancers doing all of these complicated sequences around you, you don't want to be doing too much. You want people to be looking at your dancers, because those are the people telling your message. Those are the people giving your coded symbolic message. So people don't get it. They like, man, why Kendrick was kind of dead? Why his energy wasn't crunk? Kendrick had dead energy because the message he wanted to give America is that our people ain't no longer just going to be your puppets performing for you. So you notice when Kendrick is performing in Compton for his people and all that, he's very much into it and he's crunk. And he decided to turn down for the Super Bowl because he really wanted to tell America a message. It wasn't about a show. In other words, are you not entertained? Kendrick didn't come to perform, to be the performing Negro. And I think that is so genius. He literally came to not kill it, to not perform. But because he knew he was going to have that kind of energy, he had all of these dancers. And it wasn't really about performing for America. It was about teaching America and giving America a message, not getting crunk. We know Kendrick can perform. We know he's an excellent performer. He can get the crowd crunk. He can get crunk. This was intentional for him to have that kind of energy. So again, his show wasn't about no killer performance. Don't listen to any fan saying that he killed it, because he didn't, and that wasn't even the agenda. He actually did the opposite of perform and kill it, right? And he did not perform for America and Uncle Sam. Instead, he made the show about coded messages and symbolism that only a few will catch, because the rest of them looking for a big performance.
I know we all caught the shade that Kendrick was throwing at Drake during this halftime show performance. The A minor necklace, bringing out Serena Williams to Crip Walk, the sweet, innocent, but fucking diabolical smile in the camera during Say Drake. When I tell you, I was giggling and kicking my feet when he said, "Say Drake." I know it was messy. I know it was messy and petty and everything that we love about Kendrick Lamar, but I need y'all to lock in, because all truth, no J-Lo. I need y'all to also understand the political messages that he was sending as well. Start off with Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam saying, "Welcome to the Great American Game." Bitch, he was not talking about football. The Great American Game is how our government wants us to behave.
And I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people didn't even peep the fact that they chose Samuel L. Jackson to be Uncle Sam for a reason, because, well, his name is Samuel. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson, Uncle Sam. So we got to look at the symbolism in it, that the symbolism goes beyond Kendrick Lamar, even the NFL. And the people who are directing this show are saying, we want Samuel L. Jackson to be our Uncle Sam. Why? Well, he's Samuel. I don't think that's a coincidence. It's just tons of symbolism here. And you want to watch my video to the end, because I'm going to end with a conclusion that you guys are not expecting when it comes to Kendrick Lamar.
Complicit, going along with whatever the fuck they're doing. We get into Kendrick Lamar saying the revolution will be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Essentially saying that he is not just going to fall in line, be complicit. He goes against what the government wants.
When people is saying, well, Kendrick Lamar goes against what the government wants, we never need to go that far with it. I think as Black people, we need to be careful with that. We need to say, okay, we're glad Kendrick Lamar ended Drake's career, because no one likes Drake. And we definitely prefer Kendrick Lamar's music over Drake, me personally. But when we start now thinking that somehow Kendrick Lamar and DJ Mustard and all of them are separate from the machine, I will have to draw the line right there, because small hats control the Super Bowl. They control the music industry. They control everything that make Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick Lamar. And I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, and I can say this. And you know how I'm able to do this? I'm going to be honest with you. It's because I was a Tupac fan. I'm still a Tupac fan. But I'm also willing to agree with a person that say, well, Tupac was a part of the Illuminati at some point, and he turned on it later, or whatever you want to debate. I would never say Tupac wasn't an industry puppet. He was part of the system. Now, I would say that my hat go off to the Tupacs, to the Michael Jacksons, because Michael Jackson was born in the industry, into Hollywood. But the people that eventually rebel on it and turn on it, I give them a pass. Now, let's talk about Kendrick Lamar. We got to ask the question, is Kendrick Lamar a rebel against the industry? That would be the question we need to ask. Has Kendrick Lamar went full-fledged Tupac yet? Full-fledged FU industry, full-fledged Prince, Michael Jackson? And we really need to be honest about this conversation, because if the answer is yes, and that Kendrick is a true rebel, we need to protect Kendrick Lamar. because we saw what happened to Tupac, Michael Jackson, and Prince.
Jackson come back and he says that this is too loud, too reckless, and too ghetto, and asks Kendrick Lamar if he really knows how to play the game. And Kendrick Lamar goes straight into humble. Sit.
So Kendrick Lamar was asked by Samuel L. Jackson, who's playing Uncle Sam. And remember, Uncle Sam is the devil. That's the Baphomet goat. To people who don't know, that's the Baphomet goat. So Uncle Sam is the host of the Hunger Games. And when the sister broke down the fact that the game is the American system, the crazy part about that, I think Kendrick is playing the game right now, like so many others before him. And the question is, on whose behalf is he playing it on? And that's the debate that we got to have. Is he for the people, or is he just another controlled opposition distraction? That's the conversation we got to have, because if he's for the people, we need to protect the brother. And if he's not, then we just need to keep on keeping on doing what we've been doing, saying, hey, it was a good show. Good job, Kendrick. Now back to us, back to business. Because we can't be distracted off of the things that's going on in the world right now. Trump promised to put Americans first, and he's putting Israel first and rebuilding the Gaza Strip. We're at the brink of war, and California is burning down to the ground. The fires are getting worse. So let's go ahead and celebrate for Kendrick. Let's clap it up, and let's get back to focusing on the bigger issues in the world besides him beefing with Drake. That's a music industry beef. And the whole thing about it is, now we have MAGA getting mad about his performance, and that's just so we can stay distracted and drag this thing out while there's so much more important and serious stuff going on in the world. So on one hand, part of me is saying, yeah, it is kind of a distraction, because I know how America works. If we talking about the system of America and the games that America play, because that's what we're breaking down right now in the video. All of us black people know the system. We know how they play. Even Tupac said the media full of dirty tricks. The Super Bowl is $1 billion thing. No one infiltrates the system and take over the Super Bowl halftime show. That don't work. I think black people need to slow down with making Kendrick Lamar a messiah. He's just a good music artist. But I'm going to tell you right now, we shouldn't be putting the revolutionary stamp on him, the rebel stamp on him, because I don't know too many of our leaders who were a real threat to America that received Pulitzer Prizes, Grammy Awards, halftime show performances. You know what they received? Bop, bop, bop. That's what they received. And their voices were silenced. Even when Malcolm X spoke up during his time, his own brothers silenced him, because that's how much power this system got.
Sit down, be humble, exactly what the government wants us to do. Then immediately after Kendrick Lamar stops doing what the government wants him to do, stops sitting down, stops being humble.
After Be Humble, Kendrick Lamar then performed I Got Royalty and Loyalty Inside My DNA. And that's because, like the sister said, Uncle Sam asked him, do you know how to play the game? And his answer was, yeah, be humble. Sit down. And somebody can say, well, Kendrick Lamar is telling you to play the game and be a good old house Negro. On one hand, a person can make that argument. On the other hand, a person can say, well, no, he went into Be Humble because he's telling you don't be humble, which is why after Be Humble, he went into I Got Royalty and Loyalty Inside My DNA, because why would you be humble to the system if you're a king, if you're a god, if you got royalty and loyalty in your genetics? So one could probably make an argument for both sides. Either side you pick, I think that one good thing that this is doing for the community, it's making black people get into decoding symbolism. My thing is, if you stop with Kendrick Lamar, with decoding these symbols and all that, you're a hypocrite. You faking it. because Kendrick Lamar don't have a monopoly on speaking in code. And we've been telling y'all celebrities do this.
Then Kendrick Lamar teases not like us, but doesn't perform it. The government wants him to do. Stop sitting down, stops being humble. We see Uncle Sam come back and say, deduct one life. Please, are we following along? Then Kendrick Lamar teases not like us, but doesn't perform it. He says, I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue. That was a dig at Drake because, child, you know he is on the phone with his lawyers as we speak. Also, he says he's going to slow things down, meaning he's going to fall back in line, be silent, be complicit, not go against the government. That's when he brings out SZA, the performance is chill. And then after that, we see Uncle Sam comes back out and he says, this is what America wants, nice and calm. Samuel L. Jackson says, you're almost there, don't mess this up. And then that's when Not Like Us begins to start. Before he gets into Not Like Us, he says some really important points. Number one, he says that there is a cultural divide. Self-explanatory. Number two, he says, as 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. If you're not familiar with the phrase 40 acres and a mule, that was a promise made to Black people after the end of the American Civil War, in which they were promised land and resources to help them build economically. This was a promise made by the government to Black people, which was broken, which is why Kendrick Lamar says this is bigger than the music. It points to the fact that the American government will lie to you, which is why you should not trust them, why you should not be complicit, why you should not be silent. I think the greater message that Kendrick Lamar was trying to convey is that we have got to stand up. America is a game and we cannot play the game in a way that Uncle Sam, i.e. the government, wants us to. Hope this helps. Peace and love.
Okay, so I just wanted to give y'all the basic breakdown of what all the Black people are pointing out concerning the symbolism in Kendrick Lamar's performance.
It was televised. The revolution was televised, and it was televised on one of the largest stages ever. Won against the Chiefs 40-22. The Eagles, their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, is a Black man.
And I ain't gonna lie, man, a lot of times this stuff here turns into this psychotic religion. Like what this brother doing is a turnoff, salutes to Tabitha Speaks, but I can't rock with this, right? Because people need to realize we're up here talking about America is a game. We're talking about learning how to play the system. Guess how you play the system? Learning how the system works. When you learn how the system works, then you can manipulate it. Guess one thing that Black people need to realize? Sports are rigged. Sports are rigged. And ain't no way around it. Because the brother's saying right now, Jalen Hurts is a Black quarterback. And he's from Alabama, my hometown state, which is why I'm rocking the Eagles cap. So Sanchez can participate in the game, but know that it's a game. So this Black man right here is saying that the Eagles has a Black quarterback. And the Eagles won. He's saying that that's part of the symbolism. What I'm hearing the brother say is they let the Eagles win because they're trying to play into the whole Black energy. You got the Black quarterback defeating the white quarterback. You got Kendrick defeating Drake, which is like Jalen Hurts defeating Mahomes, who's kind of got the same Drake sort of thing going on with his identity, if you know what I mean. The crazy thing about it, Black people, is that the world is a stage, and Kendrick Lamar is at the front and center of that stage. We all are admitting that the celebrities speak in codes and signs, and we see Kendrick doing that on the biggest platform, which is controlled by who? The small hats. Why would the small hats be allowing Black people to get these W's right now? Why would the small hats be allowing Kendrick Lamar to be killing the game right now? Why would the small hats allow this revolutionary Black warrior at the halftime show? Why at this time does it seem like the system is just allowing Black people to have their victory moment? You know why? Because it's all a distraction. The same people that's allowing all this to happen with Black people, they are over at the Gaza Strip right now with our president using all our resources to conquer land to use for on their behalf, not on ours. We got to really calm down and still think strategically and don't be slipping and don't be caught with our pants down. They always want us to look one way when they over here attacking us. And when we celebrating over here, we been attacked over here. There are so many of our people losing their properties. As I speak, we're under attack. Flooding on the East Coast, fires on the West Coast getting worse. They're talking about personalized mRNA jabs for everybody and new biological threats on the way. Trump just passed Project Stargate. This is the new medical industry. And all of this serious stuff is going on. And you know what Black people are doing? Celebrating the Super Bowl show and Kendrick defeating Drake. I've been studying patterns for years, people. And I love hip hop. Everybody know I'm a hip hop artist and I am a Kendrick Lamar fan. But I was a soldier too in the military. So the soldier in me will never let me be distracted from the fight. And I can still wear my Eagles hat. I can still watch the Super Bowl show and celebrate for Kendrick and say, now let's get back to what's important. You can have a little fun every now and then, but don't be distracted. I'm worried that this may linger on and turn into a distraction because Kendrick have been a big topic right now when we should really be talking about a lot of this serious stuff that's going on in the world. My opinion is that they're letting Black people have our moment right now because something is coming for us, buddy. Something is coming that we're not going to be expecting while we celebrating. And it's already happening right now. We being under attack. Let me give y'all some more examples of how the people are decoding the Super Bowl to show you how what the common energy is when it comes to decoding this Super Bowl, and then I'll give you my little decodings and 2 cents on it and all that.
The revolution was televised.
And now we was always told that the revolution would not be televised. So we got to always remember that it was Gail Scott Heron that said that the revolution will not be televised, and we need to be teaching the youth why he said that. Because dudes like this and modern TikTok internet culture has fried our brains. It has fried our brains. This is brain rot culture. Because this brother is going against his ancestors. He's saying the revolution was televised. Gil Scott Heron, take that. Listen.
The revolution was televised.
No, it wasn't. The revolution was not televised and it will not be televised. The reason Gil Scott Heron said that is because they will never allow the stuff on TV that really matters. They will never let Kendrick Lamar go up there and perform a song that's questioning vaccines. They will never let Kendrick Lamar go up there and perform a song that's talking about how America support Israel with trillions of dollars while neglecting Black people. They will never let Kendrick Lamar go up there during a halftime show and expose the opioid epidemic that's going on in America in places like Kensington and everywhere else. You know what the revolution is? When a person get up on the main stage and they really tell America the truth about the system, the game that most of us play every day, and it ain't pretty. And Kendrick Lamar, I loved his halftime show, but there was nothing revolutionary about it. He was revolting against Drake. What that got to do with you and our people? When we start thinking that the revolution is now being televised, we moving backwards as a people, because that was not revolutionary what Kendrick Lamar did during the halftime performance. It's not revolutionary that a Black man played for the Philadelphia Eagles, won the Super Bowl. What's revolutionary is when Black people get back our own league. Because we own the Super Bowl, we own the NFL, we own the MLB, we created sports. There will be no sports if it weren't for our indigenous ancestors. And you telling me that a young Black man who's been underpaid, who's taking so much physical damage to his body that by the time he get 50 or 60, they barely remember their name because of all those head attacks with the helmet. We are falling as a people mentally and spiritually, and we falling right into the enemy's trap. I'm surprised Tabitha Speaks even falling for this one. We doing too much when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, and it's starting to be cringe. The man is not a messiah. He's not some revolutionary that's finna be the answer to black people. He's a great artist and musician and a gang member from California whose all of his accolades, his energy, his resources, that's gonna go through his neighborhood. That's how the gangs work. And that's the way it should be, to each his own. Kendrick Lamar's gang has beef with a lot of other black gangs. And the killing in LA ain't getting no better. The fires are going. And y'all celebrating this halftime thing when really our people ain't in a position to celebrate. But like I said, ain't that wrong with having some fun here and there. But then let's get back to war. Don't be distracted. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Kendrick Lamar isn't revolting against the system. He's revolting against Drake. One thing we got to realize is that it ain't Kendrick Lamar's job to revolt against the system. That's the people's job. That's the revolutionary's job. Now, being an artist can be revolutionary. You can have revolutionaries that are artists. But once they truly start to revolt, the system will not put them on a pedestal. It will silence them. Your album will stop selling. They'll put some kind of smear campaign on you and all that. So don't think all of a sudden the revolution is being televised because Kendrick Lamar. And I think it's very disrespectful to Gil Scott-Heron, who said that the revolution will not be televised because what he was saying was they will never let a true threat onto the main stage, onto the main public spotlight. And that is true. We can't act like Kendrick Lamar is some big, gigantic threat to the system, okay?
The revolution was televised, and it was televised on one of the largest stages ever.
And we need to be asking, why is that, instead of smiling? We need to be asking, if this is truly revolutionary, why would the people who control the Super Bowl, they control who get commercials, they control who perform, these small hats control media. The question we need to ask, why would they allow the Black Revolution to be televised on one of the main public platforms? Ain't nothing bigger than the Super Bowl right now in America. You know why they would do that? Because guess what's going on in the world right now? Trump has taken over the Gaza Strip. America is invading Gaza right now, and we're at the brink of World War III. If the Super Bowl energy and all this one going on right now, guess what black people will be doing? Talking about Donald Trump. Black people are complaining about this white man in power that ain't doing nothing for black people. Even Tabitha was just doing videos about Trump. But see how the Super Bowl made everybody change gears. What I'm pointing out here is that it's quite obvious that the people in power don't care nothing about black people. And they're not going to let no true revolution be televised during one of the biggest moments in not just America, but in the world. If I was the small hats, I would rather have black people celebrating Kendrick Lamar right now than questioning my president about why he's going to war in Gaza for the small hats, after promising to do something for black people, because black people put him in office. He promised to put Americans first, and he had the platinum plan and all that. Soon as he got in office, he went to the Gaza Strip. That ain't got nothing to do with us. We're at the brink of war. As I speak right now, America is invading the Gaza Strip, and we're doing it for the small hats. The same small hats that's allowing Kendrick Lamar to be the talk of America right now. And we're not putting two and two together. Because if I was a small hat and I know that I'm using America and all of its resources to do what I want done, I'm using the American people, I'm using their government, their military power, and all that to carry out my will. If I'm a small hat and I know that I'm doing that, I won't want nobody questioning me right now while we invade the Gaza Strip. You know that they do everything strategically. Why would they be invading Gaza during the Super Bowl? Because ain't nobody watching. Everybody watching football. Are you not entertained? This is the art of distraction. And it's so genius that when you point it out to the people that's being distracted, they will say stuff like, you just hating, man. Pre-programmed, socially engineered responses. Why would we be invading Gaza right now and ain't nobody talking about it? So again, if I'm a small hat, I would never care about black people's revolution being televised. But if somebody told me, hey, we can give him Kendrick Lamar, he's the closest thing we can get to something that looks like anti-establishment while not making the people actually revolt and ask the questions that they need to be asking right now. Because the whole thing with Kendrick is always going to boil back down to take that, Drake, take that, Drake. And people got to realize Drake is a small hat. Drake is a JEW. So it's all one big game and Drake's in on it too. He's taking one for his team. He's the scapegoat because right now black people are saying, take that Drake, versus take that small hats, take that government, take that MAGA, take that Trump. If I'm a small hat and I know that I can sacrifice one of the boys in my family and I can make a whole group of people hate this man instead of hating this group of people called JEWSs, then we'll throw him to the he'll take one for the team. And that's what Drake is. Drake is a small hat. And these small hats have let Drake run the game for years. You think that Kendrick's so powerful that Kendrick stopping something that these people want to happen? No. Drake and Kendrick are controlled by these small hats. And you can't be so dumb to think Kendrick ain't. If Donald Trump is being controlled by the small hats, you better believe that some little black rapper for Compton ain't doing what he want to do. And we gotta quit getting amnesia like what this brother doing and like what the sister doing right here. This is when we turn off critical thinking and we go into entertainment mode and we play these games with ourselves. And like I said, I love Kendrick Lamar, but I love the truth and keeping the people on focus and not being bamboozled and duped and not lying ourselves, man. Kendrick got a boss just like everybody else. And at the top of all these industries, it ain't no revolutionaries. And like I said, if I was a small hat, I would want black people celebrating the downfall of Drake, dancing and rocking out with Kendrick, not asking me questions on why I got Trump going to the Gaza Strip on behalf of America. It ain't like Donald Trump is invading the Gaza Strip. The USA is invading the Gaza Strip. And what did we see at Kendrick Lamar's halftime show? A lot of USA and symbolism and patriotism type theme. Now, a lot of people say, well, Kendrick Lamar ain't patriotic. And you're right. He's very anti-establishment. So you can look at the red, white, and blue as disrespect to the establishment. But what I will say is, if that's the case, he didn't make it clear. They should have burnt the flag like in Malcolm X's beginning. Because people on the outside looking in, they're going to look at it as if a bunch of black guys are happy to be in America. If I was in another country watching the halftime show, I probably wouldn't pick up on all the symbolism. I just see a bunch of black dudes and patriotism. That's on purpose. Everybody looking at America right now, the whole world. Trump's in office. And for the Super Bowl, you had a lot of red, white, and blue. That's crazy because if Kendrick is anti-establishment, it should have been that some kind of disrespect to the red, white, and blue. Or maybe it was and I didn't catch the code in it. Because a person can look at that and say, is Kendrick selling out to the establishment now? Because America, the USA, is invading the Gaza Strip right now. If I was a small hat, I would want the whole world to think my people is with it and we're in on it. Think about this, right? What if the small hats was trying to invade the Gaza Strip, and while all of their enemies are telling them, y'all are wrong for doing that, even Americans are telling them, y'all are wrong for doing that. Leave them people alone and focus on Americans like you said you was going to do, because we thought you said we weren't going to go to war, Trump. Trump promised us peace. Now he's invading Gaza. And instead of us pointing that out, because it's happening right now, we've been distracted with the halftime show with Kendrick. And you know, it didn't make sense to me. I was like, if Kendrick is such a revolutionary, why would the small hats put him in the spotlight? And anybody that says the small hats didn't put him there, you've completely lost your rabbit A mind. If you think that they letting their guard down just for this little black boy from Compton, who do you think Kendrick is, man? They controlling Trump and Elon, and you don't think that they controlling Kendrick and Drake? So Drake is a small hat. His family, they are small hats. And if I was a small hat, I would want everyone throwing Drake under the bus versus throwing small hats under the bus. I would want Drake to be on trial right now versus us questioning Israel, Netanyahu, and these small hats that's got Trump doing the opposite of what he said he was going to do. I would want black people, right, who would be the main group calling this out. Why? Because we're the group that the Dems and the Republicans keep pandering to and making promises to. And just like with the Democrats, when the promises is broken, we get vocal about it. Imagine us getting vocal about the things Trump has done right now. And we're getting vocal about it during a time where he's trying to invade the Gaza Strip. That one worked out good. You got your own country going against you in your decision, and you got the whole world going against you too. That'll be impossible to carry out under them conditions. So I'm answering the question. The question is the revolution now being televised in 2025 with Kendrick Lamar? Because if the answer is yes, then guess what we're saying? Our late great brother, Gil Scott-Heron, he was wrong and he didn't know what he was talking about. That brother said that the revolution would not be televised. And I want to tell you something. Gil Scott-Heron isn't wrong. Black people are wrong right now, and we're falling victim to psychological operations. I don't understand how this is a W for us when you think about them executive orders and the undoing of the Civil Rights Act. Like, we've been taking a lot of L's since Trump been in office, and it's only finna get worse as we go over here and invade Gaza. And I put two and two together. I said, look, why are they pandering to black people right now? Why is America giving black people all this W type energy right now? They don't never do that unless it's something else. We need to pay attention. We need to pay attention, because when America get us celebrating, smiling and all that, something on the way. Something on the way. We need to be looking over the horizon right now. Something ain't right about this. And a lot of black people gonna say, man, chill out, man, everything okay. We can let our guard down. We winning right now. Pop champagne. Kendrick just beat Drake. You falling for the psyop. That was a great rapper. He's an OG. He's been in the game before Kendrick. His name is Noreaga. Most of you know who he is. But Noreaga talked about the Doors. Now, like I said, I'm an artist. I'm a Kendrick fan, but I'm not one of those people that lie to myself. I can't do that with you. I can like Kendrick music and all that and still say, well, yeah, Kendrick is part of the game. Yeah, he get at the top of his echelon is Small Hats. They're not an independent company now, right? He's still part of the system and the music industry and the machine. And again, no one gets to the Super Bowl. No one gets to this level of success where you're getting Pulitzer prizes. You're getting 5 Grammys. Don't y'all know that the Grammys ain't controlled by us? It's controlled by Small Hats. Don't you know that the Pulitzer Prize is given by Small Hats? So my thing is, while black people are celebrating, we need to be asking what's up with all the gifts right now? Why are they pandering to us right now? Don't just fall for the distraction. So what I'm saying is, we've been saying that success in the music industry comes with a price, and we need to keep saying it. We don't need to stop saying that just because it's Kendrick. And I bump the man music every day, and I can tell you this. So let's listen to Noreaga remind y'all of something that we seem to have forgot just because it's Kendrick. Listen.
It's a level of success where it's a door. It's a door. When you platinum and you getting 50,000 a show, I've been there. There's a door that you could walk in. I'm not sure if it's homo or if it's Illuminati. I just didn't take that though. I went straight.
What do you mean?
Listen. When you get to a level of success, when you getting 30, 40, 50,000 a show, you platinum, you running across the world. There's 3 different doors, right? There's 3 different ways to walk. There's to the left. There's to the right.
And
then
straight.
there's straight. Straight is you're on your own.
You hear that?
Let's see if you continue this success, young man.
Come on.
Let's see if it's all about your skills, young man. Let's really see that. Okay. You went straight. To the right, I'm not sure if that's the homo shit right there. And then there's to the left, I'm not sure if there's some sacrifice shit going on right there. I'm not sure because I went straight. But I was offered these doors.
It's just you
hear that?
Some gay shit?
I don't, no. I'm saying that to the right when I seen it, those was those guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Those different people, which I have no problem with. You know, that's y'all. You feel me? And I just chose to go straight, and I haven't been platinum since.
Y'all hear this? So you don't get to where Kendrick at without going through the doors. Before Kendrick had a big buzz, everybody was playing this clip. Everybody talking about Noreaga. And we can't forget about that clip. People are saying Kendrick speaks in code. Kendrick does a lot of signs and stuff in his music and art. You're right. I've been trying to tell y'all that with all the rappers. Since we know that Kendrick speak in code and he use a lot of signs and stuff in his artwork and music, take a look at this photo. We all know what sign this is, right? Because we've called other celebrities out for it, right? Let me show you what I mean. So a lot of Kendrick fans will show images like this and they will say, see y'all, Drake is Illuminati because he's covering one of his eyes. And I would say, y'all are right once again. He is a puppet, and that's why they do that. And then I will show them this, and they will make excuses for Kendrick. But they the same people that'll tell you Kendrick speak in code, Kendrick is a genius because he used a lot of symbolism in his art. And then when you show them this kind of image, they'll say, oh, he ain't using symbolism in this art. You just tripping, Sanchez. You see what I'm saying? You say, oh, this don't mean what you think it mean. It only means it when we point it out when Drake do it. You see what I'm saying? And that's where we're at now. The music industry has given y'all a messiah just like they did with Trump. Just like everybody think Trump is for the people. They think Trump is on our side when he's being controlled by the small hats. Same thing with Kendrick Lamar. You think he's for the people. He's on our side when he's just a young brother getting his bag. Y'all are making him into a messiah and a revolutionary. I know Kendrick is saying, man, chill out. I'm just doing my music, man. We're going too far as a people with that. And I don't even blame the artist. If I guarantee you, if you talk to Kendrick Lamar, he probably be so humble and tell you, man, he not even trying to be seen as no messiah and none of that. We do that as a people, and it is so disgusting because we say, man, why do the white man always give us entertainers and athletes and all that for our leaders? It ain't always the white man. A lot of times we start elevating these comedians and actors and rappers to messiah-like levels, and we don't even see that we doing it. If you look at the back of DJ Mustard's jacket during the Super Bowl, guess what we got? The 5-pointed star. That right there, we know that's the symbol of Uncle Sam, and we see Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam. And this whole thing, what people don't get, how I interpret this Super Bowl performance is that it's a glimpse into what this circus show of America really is. It's reflecting what America is. A bunch of black people who live in messed up environments facing opioid crises and all kind of dramas in America. But for this one moment, we get to clown, we get to ignore all of these serious issues that's going on in America. While they're doing this, Cali is literally on fire. Now, when I look at this Super Bowl show, it reflects what America is. A bunch of black guys entertaining the world while we suffer under this system. That's why I looked at the Super Bowl. The best dancers, the best entertainers, and it's all a result of struggle culture. Most of the guys you see dancing in this video, according to statistics, won't even be alive after certain ages. So my whole thing is I'm not going to sugarcoat and act like everything fine and dandy in America and it's a W for black people. No, it's just a good song. It was a very sequenced performance that kept my eyes glued to the TV. And when it's over, I said, okay, now let's get back to work. I'm not going to make Kendrick a messiah. And no, we're not going to go against Gil Scott-Heron and say that the revolution is now being televised because Kendrick had the halftime show. That's reaching. That's doing too much. That's disrespectful to our revolutionary ancestor. Gil Scott-Heron was right when he said that the revolution will not be televised, and you not gonna make him wrong because you're caught up into idolatry right now. We see the 5-pointed star on the back of Mustard's coat, like a lot of people can say, well, listen, maybe they gone to the next level. Maybe they've taken that Noreaga door. Because when you see new success and new heights of success, that's always been something we question. And we're going to keep questioning. Even if it's a person I like or you like or he don't like. We ain't going to pick and choose with it. So that's going to stay on the table as a question, and we can debate that and have the people in the comment section tell us what you think from both sides. So on the other hand, we have channels like this, which is Dr. Rashad Ritchie. He's rooting for Kendrick. He's doing symbolism, breaking it down and all that stuff, of course. And a lot of people are happy that MAGA is melting down over Kendrick's performance. And that is part of a psychological operation. I told y'all they want us to think that these industries aren't monopolized by the small hats, but they are. And Kendrick kind of gives people hope, or he represents this image that you can be in the music industry and do what you want to do and rise up against the system and still do Super Bowl shows and be as big as Drake. And I'm telling you, that's a pipe dream, and that's a lie. Kendrick is being controlled by the same people who was controlling Drake. And the moment Kendrick get out of line, they will rise another brother up and let Kendrick know who's really in charge. So I know a lot about the music industry, and the fans will always disagree with me when I've met a lot of their favorite artists, and I wasn't starstruck like how they would be. You got to think Noreaga was in the music industry, and he's saying exactly what I'm saying. Don't y'all find it crazy that a lot of people in the music industry will admit to the Illuminati and to the controllers of that industry, but the fans will always get amnesia? They will even go against the people who's in the industry. Now, it was a bit too much patriotism going on for me during this Super Bowl show. And to me, it's just black people again performing and shucking and jiving for the enemy. A lot of black people gonna be like, this is a W. But to me, it ain't a W, and it ain't a L either. It's just an entertaining Super Bowl show. Why can't we make it that? Why we gotta make Kendrick a messiah and make this some Bible that we gotta decipher? Because all of the coded messages within this is just Drake disses. Like that A chain he wearing, that's the A minor joint. Everything is like F Drake. And what the psyop is that F Drake is the new F the system. And I can't go with that. They trying to make F Drake the new F the system. And if that's the case, then Drake is the system's scapegoat. Like I was telling you earlier, you giving them an out for this one man. This is Kendrick's beef with another rapper. How come black people have made this a whole cultural revolutionary act? That's crazy. Kendrick Lamar got a song called God is Gangster. And since y'all like to talk about speaking in code and all that, let me give you some symbolism for you to decode. The God of the gangsters, or the group of men that'll tell you God is a gangster or God is gangster, those are mob members. Now, guess where Kendrick Lamar is from? He's from Mob Piru. And Mob Pirus got the word mob in their name. And when you dealing with mobs and mafias, they move a certain way. They move like gangsters, like the old school gangster businessmen. They don't talk a lot. They keep their head down, get the boom, 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 and they move like in silence and a shadow in the city while secretly controlling things. The God of the gangsters is the devil. And in this video called God is Gangster, you can see that Kendrick Lamar has a very possessed type energy in this video. And if you read the lyrics at the end of it, he start having a conversation with this person called Lucy, which is Lucifer. And let me read it to you. It say, my name is Lucy Kendrick. You introduce me, Kendrick. Usually I don't do this, Kendrick, but I see you and me, Kendrick. Lucy give you no worries. Lucy got million stories about these rappers that I came after when they was burrowing. Lucy gonna fill your pockets. Lucy gonna move your mama out of Compton inside the gigantic mansion like I promised. Lucy just want your trust and loyalty. Avoiding me is not easy. I'm at these functions accordingly. Kendrick, Lucy don't slack a minute. Lucy work harder. Lucy gonna call you when Lucy knows you love your father. I'm Lucy. I loosely heard prayers on your first album, truly. Lucy don't mind, cause at the end of the day, you'll pursue me. Lucy go get it. Lucy not timid. Lucy up front. Lucy got paperwork on top of paperwork. I want you to know that Lucy got you. All your life I watched you. And now you all grown up to sign this contract if that's possible. To sign what contract? With Lucy. Now you can go and do your deciphering, decoding on that. We like to say that he used symbolism and all that. We like to say that he's using codes and all that. Well, let's keep that energy with Lucy in the contract here. And God is gangster. Because Kendrick said, Jesus is Lord. He said, God is gangster. Jesus, which is the modern world image that they worship in the false God. I'll show you what this is. The one that they call Jesus is this one here. This is the God of the papacy, the God of the world powers. These are the people controlling the world. So if you want to know why Kendrick is in his position, if you want to know why Kendrick is in his position right now, it ain't nothing randomly going on or no mishaps. The people in charge are still in charge, and it ain't no one rogue person just doing what they want to do, going against the system. I had to tell the same thing to Trump fans, and now I got to tell it to Kendrick Lamar fans. Ain't none of these guys no messiahs, no revolutionary that's going to come and overthrow the system in any kind of way. It's not no big revolutionary act for black people. In fact, we're being set back right now, and we're going backwards right now. So while we're being attacked and we going backwards, they want you to think you winning. This is the psyop right here. This is the Christ that the world powers. When they say, man, Jesus is Lord, or I thank God, they're thinking the false Christ. They're thinking this abomination that's up there in the Vatican. This is what they're worshiping. This is not the same Christ. It tells you in the Bible that their true God is money and that they're the synagogue of Satan. And the people at the top in these positions, they're not worshiping the same God as you, which is why Kendrick is telling you his God is gangster. What do Trump fans say about Trump? Trump is gangster, man. You know why? Gangsters make the world go round. Why? Because the mob is in charge. The mafias is in charge. You think that the cartels in South America are the only ones that took over their government? You crazy. Our mobs and mafias took over our government way back in the day, especially in the 40s. The mobs and the mafias been took over the governments of the world and all of the industries, the music industry and all that. And that's a whole nother stream that I'm going to do on how the music industry was taken over by the gangsters and mobs and all that, because it's deeper than what y'all think. But for now, I'm going to leave y'all with this one right here. It's been a pleasure. I hope y'all get in the comment section and let me know what you think about what I'm saying here today. It's okay to like Kendrick, but we don't need to be making these rappers and entertainers to be messiahs and all of that. It's not a good look for the children, right? You let the young know, yeah, he makes good music, son, but we need tech gurus and engineers for the future, son. We don't need no more rappers and performers. That's just the truth, though. Peace and much love.